All right, people, welcome in. Hottest show on the streets. Number one ticket and form. You're going to get out there on your Crimson Tide Football Friday TGIF edition of the show. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on the YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit subscribe, smash the subscribe button right now. Get all things that you crave on your favorite program. Also, leave a like, run those likes up, hit that like button, make this your show, your network, your platform and channel and space to get all of your Crimson Tide football needs. Also, turn on all of those notifications, hit that bell so that way, once again, you can get all you want to, all you desire on Bama football. We also got you covered here on Facebook and Twitter, streaming to you this show. But we got a cool one tonight. Really cool show tonight. No guests, just me, but still breaking down your Crimson Tide football. Alabama men's basketball got that win a couple of days ago over Ole Miss, still being viewed as a team that can make the NCAA tournament. Coach Oates and guys have to get on a run. How about Team 26? Alabama softball, Patrick Murphy, Montana Fouts, and the girls getting that season started off today, and they just destroyed Southern Utah, getting an 11-0 victory. Keep your eyes on the name Megan Bloodwood. Megan Bloodwood, I mean, that girl's going to be something. 2 home runs in the game, including a grand slam. So she's going to be the one that will take over for the departed Bailey Hemphill. So a softball getting started, basketball trying to get to that NCAA tournament. A lot of action here when you look at Alabama sports across the landscape. But people, we want to hear from you tonight on the eve of Super Bowl weekend here. 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. Let the passion, the excitement, the joy ooze through the phone lines tonight. Daily Super Chat goal, as always, $75. And our own Jimmy Cash Money, throw it in the bucket. Clay has taken care of a Daily Super Chat goal himself, donating that $75 in, showing the love on the show. Appreciate Jimmy Clay and everybody supporting in, calling in, donating in, making this your platform to talk Crimson Tide football. Gotta shout out my man John Ivory, as always, in the production studio doing his thing. And so we get into tonight, topic number one here at the conversation. And, you know, John, not much news has been going on, or not much heavy news in terms of Bama football since we are in the off season. But yesterday, a story came across the ticker, and that being Crimson Tide hiring Zach Mettenberger, former LSU quarterback, as an offensive analyst. According to the Crimson Tide's football staff directory, if you go on there right now, Mettenberger is listed as an offensive analyst for Alabama. And of course, you know, we put together a video with some audio there of this happening on TDA's YouTube channel, and we thought that it was going to get some conversation, a little bit of conversation, not too much. I go on there, it's gotten near 5,000 views. So I'm like, whoa, maybe we should go dive into more as to why Nick Saban chose to make the move. What could Mettenberger do to enhance the offense, make the offense more efficient, more explosive, more consistent, more being able to have it execute better? So we decided to make this a topic here for today's show. And one of the things about Coach Saban, coaching is truly a fraternity. And when it comes to hiring people for his staff, Saban does not look at rivalries too tough, because, I mean, even though he competed straight up head-to-head against Mettenberger, Alabama, LSU, Nick Saban thinks about, can this guy help us be more explosive on the offensive side of the ball? Can this guy help us be more effective, more efficient, more dominant, more successful? If he can help us do these things, then why not bring him into the program? Why not hire him on staff? Why not make him an acquisition for us to use here for the Crimson Tide? So, you know, That's why, Mettenberger is in the program. And for some people out there, it was, why was this hire made? Mettenberger wasn't all that good at LSU. He wasn't all that great for the Tigers. Their offenses weren't that creative. They were not all that innovative. They were kind of bland, kind of boring under Les Miles. So why in the world was this hire made to bring Mettenberger in here? Okay, here we go. So Mettenberger was not terrible when he played against Alabama. He was actually quite good when he went head-to-head against Coach Saban. In his career, though, Mettenberger started off as a Georgia quarterback in 2009, went to a community college, then 2011 through 13 was at LSU. In his 2 seasons, 2012 and 2013, as a starter for the Tigers, he completed 40 of 58 passes. That's near 70% at 68.9. Pretty efficient there for 539 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, did not turn the ball over. And while we remember the 2012 A.J. McCarron and the T.J. Yeldon screen pass, make a man miss, game-winning touchdown in Death Valley to win 21-17. And we remember 2013 at Bryant-Denny, where Mettenberger was sandwiched between C.J. Mosley and Jeffrey Pagan, had to crawl off the field for his life. Alabama gave him the 38-17 win there. Mettenberger played well in both of those games. Prior to the screen pass from McCarron to Yeldon in 2012, Mettenberger took the Tigers on an 80-plus yard drive that ended on a 14-yard back shoulder throw for a touchdown to Jarvis Landry. LSU had a 17-14 lead at that time. So in playing against Saban, Mettenberger was actually pretty good. Now, of course, maybe, LSU did not have just the great offensive lines. Of course, the offensive coordinators were Cam Cameron and they had Cam Cameron along with, a couple of and Matt Canada. Yeah, they had Cam Cameron and Matt Canada. So probably not the most innovative in coordinators, but Mettenberger did show and display the deep vertical passing game, getting the ball up and down the field, stretching the field. So he did do those things. And for you as Alabama fans, the thing has been where Bill O'Brien is concerned, the majority of you are saying, get O'Brien out of here. I mean, not Steve Sarkisian, not Lane Kiffin, not offensive genius, not what we're used to seeing here at Alabama in terms of the creativity offensively, while some others feel like, hey, I mean, O'Brien may not be our cup of tea, but the guy is not god-awful. Let's bring him some more help in here. And after you already got Alex Mortensen in as an analyst, here comes a Zach Mettenberger, who I think will be really good with watching the game tape, studying the game tape, crunching out the numbers, the data, the analytics, and will be able to bring to the team meetings and the coaches meetings about how, okay, guys, if we do this, we're going to be able to be more efficient, more dominant, more successful, more effective. We'll be able to execute better, because we saw how last season Alabama in the red zone at times did not score touchdowns, did not, have to settle for field goals, did not have the right play call on the field in those red zone situations, especially in the national championship game against Georgia. Will Reichert attempted between 4 and 5 field goals, and it shouldn't have been that way, because in the red zone you want to come away with points. You want to come away with touchdowns. So Mettenberger, as an analyst, as somebody who has played in the SEC, who's played in this conference, who's competed head-to-head against Nick Saban, having that type of mind in the room on the coaching staff will really help of his offense to be a bit more efficient, a bit more effective. And even going back to his days at LSU, the Tigers really trusted that run game that they had down there during Mettenberger's time from 2011 to 13. And that's another question that you as Bama fans have is, can this program get back to that tough, physical, rugged, run the football down the opponent's throat when we feel like we should be able to run the football? And being that Mettenberger comes from an LSU program that they leaned on the run game, they trusted the run game, they established the run game, he brings some of that knowledge over to Alabama as well. I mean, he's got experience playing in the NFL. He was a fourth-round pick in the he was a fourth-round pick in the 2014 draft. Well, I think it was a sixth-round pick in the 2014 draft, but he got drafted by the Titans, played there from 2014 to 2015. And then spent some time with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Diego Chargers, now the LA Chargers. He did have a year with the AAF League, the Memphis Express in 2019, before that league disbanded. He's even got some coaching experience. Now, granted, it's high school coaching with Hillsborough High School in Tennessee as an offensive coordinator in 2020. He was also at Father Ryan High School in 2021 as an assistant. So he's got some coaching experience. He's played in the SEC. Went head-to-head there against Coach Saban. Competed well at LSU. Played well at LSU as a quarterback in matchups against Alabama. And when you looking more and more like O'Brien will have that second year in Tuscaloosa, you want to kind of give him all the help that he needs in terms of setting stuff up, structuring things, getting the offense to be as efficient, as explosive, as dynamic as it possibly can. And while some people look at this move and bringing in Mettenberger as not the most attractive move, not the most sexy move, not the best move, I look at Saban from his mindset of, if this guy can help us, if this guy can give us something, or if he can add to us something that we did not have previously, then it's a good thing to have this dude in here. But Alabama made the move to bring in Zach Mettenberger as an offensive analyst, former LSU quarterback. We're going to go to a break right here on this show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting started. Upon our return, we go on the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your interactions. I mean, what do you guys think of the move of having Zach Mettenberger, former LSU quarterback, as an offensive analyst in Tuscaloosa? We get your thoughts on a Friday right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, In My Own Words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
And we're back into the action here, folks, from the break on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Gotta shout out Jimmy Clay again, baby, with that $33 donation. Dropping the love there in the Super Chat hat for Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And Jimmy Clay also had a question about one Megan Bloodworth. Could she be on the same level as Bailey Hemphill? She's got some pop in her bat, Jimmy. I mean, Megan Bloodworth's got some pop in that bat as a freshman. Had 2 home runs today, including a grand slam. Now, I think it will probably be more so batter by committee to kind of replace a lot of that power that Hemphill departed with. When you look at Bloodworth, Bailey Downing's got pop, Kaylee Towles got pop. She'll get going here as the season is starting now, getting going. So you got Ashley Prangy, who's got pop from the transfer portal. Also, You got Ashley Prang. You got Allie Shipman as well. So you got some girls that have home run power. It's just good to see that Bloodworth getting this thing going here against Southern Utah today in Arizona for that tournament. But I think it'll be better by committee in terms of replacing that power that Hemphill had. But we go to our first phone call here. We got William Bryant with that 50-piece, that $50 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate my man William Bryant out of Iowa showing love on the show. We go to the phone lines here to take your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in right there, 205-448-1358. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Well, I tell you something, Stephen, all this money William and Jimmy Clay's giving, I think I need to borrow about $5 so I can go down there and get me a cold dog. How's everybody doing tonight on TDA?
Doing great, Waylon. Doing great, man. Softball getting kicked off. Coach Saban bringing over Zach Mettenberger. Some folks going, what in the world? And some folks going, it couldn't hurt. So, interesting hire there as an offensive analyst.
Well, I mean, I think he's pretty smart with X's and O's from what I can read. So I think he's a pretty intelligent young man. So that he'll be a good teacher in the quarterback room. As these young quarterbacks come in, as these older quarterbacks also need the guidance and leading, led also to understand the system and new plays coming in. So I think he had a good hire there in Mettenberger. I think everything will work out good. I'm the roving news reporter. I got a few things written down here. I want to remember, we need to remember you, Jack. A lot of us on here remembering you, Jack. I talked with him Wednesday there before my aunt come, and he's not feeling too well. He's got the COVID, so we need to remember him. And, the A-Day game came out, and I'm glad somebody finally woke up and decided to honor Wilbur Jackson and John Mitchell at this year's A-Day game, going to be April the 16th. I didn't see the time. Did you see the time, what time it's going to be, Stephen? I didn't see that. What time is it going to be?
They have not announced a time on the network yet, but they'll do so in the coming weeks.
Okay, well, I'm glad to see Wilbur Jackson, John Mitchell recognized as a kid, 10-year-old kid at 73, 70, 71. I remember them over, they were great football players, and they showed it had a whole lot of pop to the Alabama football team, I can tell you that. But, I heard somebody say on here, down at the Cal College, I think Plow Jogger said they might be sniffing a little methane down there. I don't know what's going on at Auburn. They've dropped the ball again, I guess. Well, I don't know. I guess they hadn't got over that four overtime beating, I guess. I don't know. They're swearing them to death. But anyway, y'all looking good, the Blue Wrench Gang. Everybody stay safe this weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm going to get out of here. People want to call in. Y'all remember you, Jack, so he get to feeling better. I love all y'all, and I'll get with y'all on Monday if the Lord's willing. Y'all have a great Super Bowl weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate weighing in there for that call. It looks like the Auburn Tigers are going to hold on to Brian Harsin. They may have no other choice but to do so, but we grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen. I'm Robert from Mobile.
Rob, what's happening, man?
Hey, I'm not understanding what Zach Mettenberger is going to bring to the table either, but the way Nick Saban operates, I guess people he respects. And one thing I will give Mettenberger, you definitely have to give him a lot of respect, especially the way he, his last game against Alabama. Again, the guy was, having to crawl off the field, but, he was still willing to get back up again because the defense back then, they really put him through it. And more so than I've ever seen a quarterback go through it against Alabama's defense. But he kept getting up and kept fighting. I guess that is admirable. So we'll see what he can do to help out the team. Auburn right now is in grave danger of becoming a Tennessee. I mean, you think back, not to bring back bad memories for Alabama, but before Nick Saban, we were one bad hire away from probably becoming Tennessee ourselves. And Nick Saban pulled us away from
Rich Rod. Rich Rod.
Yeah, exactly. And Auburn right now, I mean, they're going to sink fast. When Oklahoma and Texas come into the SEC, they're not going to come here to be bottom feeders of the SEC. Anybody who thinks that those two schools are going to come here and get beaten and get treated like they did in the Big 12, you got another thing coming, especially with name, image, and likeness. They're going to shell out some name, image, and likeness for a lot of players. Texas A&M's already shown that. And Oklahoma and Texas are going to give them not playing games either. So Auburn, I mean, they could, with a couple of more bad hires, they could end up that same way. And right now they're sending a message that a coach can't come in and run the program his way. Alabama had to get over that in order to get Nick Saban. And otherwise, we would have turned into Tennessee too. Our boosters for a while was costing us, preventing us from getting good program-changing coaches. And the same thing happened and with one for Nick Saban, we might have gone that route too. So now Auburn and their boosters seem like they want to run programs too much, or have too much, or more say than the coaches, good coaches willing. They may not ever be able to get there, Nick Saban, if that's the attitude they're going to have. So right now they're flirting with Tennessee level or USC level obscurity for a while if they don't get it. All the more reason it drives you so crazy. That program is lucked up more against Nick Saban than anybody else. It just drives you insane. How did they ever win? But all jokes aside, yeah, it's looking bad there. Next season against Alabama, if Vegas already has a spread, it's got to already be 20 points. Probably will get worse between now and next Iron Bowl. And the voodoo dolls and Jordan Hare will stop working after a while if they don't get a good coach or lay out or fix their program. Even their voodoo dolls won't be able to save them in Jordan Hare.
Appreciate the thoughts there from my man Robert out of Mobile. And it goes to show if you're a booster in college football, do you want control or do you want a coach that's going to win championships? That's become the biggest question now. In college football, if you are a booster, if you're a big donor for a college program, major university, where football is concerned, do you want a program where you control it, even though you may not win championships, you may not have good coaching, you may have chaos everywhere? Or would you rather have a program where you may not have a lot of say as a booster mouth-wise, not necessarily money-wise, but talk-wise, but you get a coach in there that can change the dynamics and the parameter of your program? That's the big thing right there, because like Robert was mentioning, prior to Coach Saban, it was looking rough in Tuscaloosa for a minute. And then Saban comes in, and he has the wherewithal to hold at the door. Hey, I'm going to run this program the way I want to. Y'all get off my back. Y'all can either ride in the cut or y'all can get out of here. But I'm going to run this program the way I want to run this program. And Saban got that respect quick. So it just all depends on, as a big-name booster or big-name donor, what are you trying to do here? Gotta shout out Mechanic, my man Mechanic, with that Ben Franklin with that 100-piece, walking in here in the Super Chats. Appreciate the love from Mechanic and all of you guys helping out. We grabbed this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, how you doing, Stevie? This is Darnell Jones from Starkville, Mississippi.
Darnell, what's going on, brother?
It's going all right, man. Last Friday night. Want to speak on just a little bit with the brother from Mobile was saying about Auburn. I want to talk about, and I really have a question. What do you think is really going to be the problem with Alabama, or not with Alabama, but do you think that Alabama is going to be able to capitalize on some of these issues that Auburn's having down there on the planet?
I think Alabama will be able to capitalize definitely in recruiting, because recruits don't like instability or they don't like when programs are unstable. So when you have an unstable program right now, especially with the head man over there at Auburn, Alabama will be able to capitalize off that in recruiting. And then plus, when you look at how Auburn has taken the crane kick started by John Mechie and Jamison Williams and kind of took that a little bit from Alabama and tried to use it against the Tide. You know, the Tide is coming for revenge for that crane kick right there. So both of those metrics, absolutely.
Gotcha. I got another question, if you don't mind. with the NIL payments and the money that's going through these NILs, is Alabama going to start really using that more to their advantage? Opening up the checkbooks like some of these other schools is doing. And I know that it probably doesn't really benefit Alabama too much because it kind of recruits itself. But at some point, Texas A&M and some of these other schools is getting all these recruits. Alabama might have to start using that even more. If you have any thoughts on that, I'll go ahead and let you answer the question and hang on up. Thank you.
Appreciate the call there from my man Darnell there. It could happen. It could be. I mean, the one thing about A&M opening up the checkbook with the $30 million in NIL there is it has to pay off, right? It has to pay off in a national championship. If it doesn't pay off for A&M, then there's going to be a lot of issues down there in Aggie land. And Jimbo Fisher knows this has to pay off with a national championship. And I understand it's been a while since Alabama has been able to get the number ones, the number twos, the number threes in terms of transcendent talents on the recruiting trail to come to the program. But still, Alabama's been able to develop guys to become NFL players and become premier athletes. So does Alabama use the NIL to get more of those top guys in recruiting? It could, but I still see Nick Saban using this as a teachable moment and having guys go, outside the program in terms of getting those NIL deals. But we'll see what happens. Gotta shout out my man Jimmy Clay again with that $42 donation there in the Super Chats. Appreciate the love coming from my man Jimmy the Batman Clay. Dropping the donation right there. Gonna go to a quick topic here, folks, and this one goes to Braxton Barker, son of former Alabama quarterback Jay Barker, who won a national championship in the 1992 season. Braxton, who came to Alabama by the way of Spain Park here in the Birmingham area in 2018 as a walk-on quarterback. And though he played in one game last season against New Mexico State, completed one pass for 10 yards, he put his name in the NCAA transfer portal. But instead of transferring to continue his playing career, Barker has decided to kick off his coaching career. So he will remain with the Crimson Tide and be a graduate assistant on Saban's coaching staff. And I'm very happy for Braxton to do this because those GA jobs are very coveted. Those GA jobs are highly regarded. And those jobs quickly grow to you kicking off your coaching career pretty strong there. And for Braxton, he got a chance to learn from quality quarterbacks in Alabama. He was behind Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Bryce Young. So, Braxton was able to learn from some heavy hitters. In terms of offensive coordinators, he took things from Michael Locksley and Steve Sarkisian and Bill O'Brien last year. So being able to learn from Coach Saban the last 3 to 4 years, Braxton took he gleaned a lot of good stuff. He gleaned a lot of positive stuff, and to have 3 SEC championship rings, 2018, 2020, this past season, a national championship ring in the 2020 campaign. This is going to be really cool here to see what Barker becomes as a coach. But he's officially a graduate assistant on the Alabama coaching staff under Nick Saban. Wishing the best there for one Braxton Barker. But we take a break right here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we get into the A-Day game and providing you an A-Day preview here. What are the positions that you as fans the most excited to see, and what I myself the most excited to see? We'll dive into a little A-Day game preview talk after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian or Jameer.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break. Number one ticket here on a Friday, Super Bowl weekend. Hottest show on the streets here, in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Continue to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, run those likes up, people. Make sure making this your show, your network, your channel, your platform and space to talk Crimson Tide football. But now we get into the 8A game, the annual spring game for Alabama football, which is set for Saturday, September the 16th at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Of course, the date, of course, the time and the network has not been announced yet, but those will be announced here in coming weeks here. But Saturday, April 16th at Bryant-Denny, the annual spring game, 8A game for the Crimson Tide. And it's always a joy. It's always something fun to check out and something interesting to check out. You get a chance to see the team captains from the previous team get their handprint and their cleat print cemented on Denny Chimes enshrined forever. Those guys this time around would be Fadarian Mathis, Evan Neal, Will Anderson, and Bryce Young, named permanent team captains during this past season, so that's going to be outstanding right there. And then, of course, the game itself, U.S. fans look at all the newness, right? Who are going to be some of the – you're excited about the veteran guys, absolutely. You're excited for the veteran guys, the coaching staff, but you also want to see, who are going to be some of those new faces, those freshmen, those sophomores that, didn't really take the field a season ago, and especially the freshmen that are coming in a recruiting class. Who will be some of those young faces that wow us and impress us and drop our jaws and have us going, oh my gosh, that guy needs to be starting. That guy needs to be playing. That guy needs to be dominating. Of course, last year, that guy was a J.I. Hall who wowed the crowd, 4 catches for 72 yards in that exhibition, and people are like, 17, who now became 84, but Hall needs to be out in the field. Why is he out there on the field? He's got to be playing more, but we'll see who could be those guys this year, or could it be Hall again this year and him being able to carry that success into the regular season in the fall. But a cool thing and an outstanding thing is Alabama will be honoring Wilbur Jackson and John Mitchell Jr. before the spring game. And these are 2 individuals, 2 young men that were the first 2 African Americans to integrate the team where the program is concerned. Wilbur Jackson was recruited out of Ozark, Alabama, and John Mitchell Jr., he came over as a transfer to the university, and both guys were just special players, special individuals. John Mitchell actually became the first assistant coach on Paul Bear Bryant's staff after his playing career where the Crimson Tide is concerned. So it's going to be awesome to watch those 2 get honored for being pioneers and trailblazers and coming to the Alabama program. But we get into now the positional units that U.S. fans and I myself are just bubbling over. We're overjoyed to see these particular groups on the field and the players that could rise, emerge, and be special from these particular groups. So as we look at these groups on screen, number one, the offensive line. Like U.S. fans, y'all want to see how does this offensive line look? How will it shape out? Who will be the guys that are going to be dominant, that are going to be special, that are going to be marquee on this offensive line coming off a 2021 year where it was up and down. It was inconsistent. Bryce Young was sacked 39 times. You didn't see enough holes being open for the run game. This offensive line was not even a finalist for the Joe Moore Award. This is the reason why Doug Marrone is no longer with the program. and Eric Wolford from Kentucky is in here. And the one thing fans want to see from Wolford, the return of physical, put your hands on the guy, drive him into the ground, be mean, be maulers, be physical, be gritty, be a dominant run-blocking, pass-blocking totality of an offensive line. And after seeing what the 50-year-old did with Kentucky, making that group a finalist for the Joe Moore Award, and the success that group had in terms of physicality in the ground and pound game, Tide fans want to see, can Wolford be the guy to bring that style of play back to Tuscaloosa where this offensive front is concerned? And you look at this group here, Seth McLaughlin back at center. Who are going to be the offensive tackles? That's a big question. Will it be J.C. Latham? Will it be Tyler Booker, a freshman? Will it be Tommy Brockermeyer? Will it be Amari Kite? Will it be Damian George? Who will be your two offensive tackles? That's a question. Javion Cohan will be your left guard, but at right guard, as experienced as Emil Ekiyor is, could somebody else take that right guard position? Can you get the best 5 guys on the field to just play together and just play angry and just play physical? Can you get the best 5 guys on the field? That'll be a big thing that you as fans will watch in the A-Day game, led by Wolford as the position coach. Behind the offensive line, you look at the wide receivers, and you guys are enamored by the slot position. Who wins the job at slot receiver? Will it be JoJo Earl? Will it be Christian Leary? Will it be Aaron Anderson, the freshman, who can flat out fly from Louisiana? Jermaine Burton coming in here. Does he fit at the X? Does he fit at the Z? Will he play slot? A J.I. Hall. It's Hall's time. It's Hall's time. It's Hall's moment. Want to see Hall on the field. He's such a big talent. Is this the moment where he breaks out and takes full advantage of that? People want to know this. Ja'Cory Brooks, where does he stack up in here? He did catch big touchdown against Auburn last year on the Plains, did catch big touchdown against Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl. Where does he fit in all of this? Trayshawn Holden, where does he fit in all of this? So the wide receiver room is one that U.S. fans want to watch, because it's who emerges, who rises, who becomes dynamic in this room, who has that chemistry with Bryce Young, who has that connection with Bryce Young, who has that flow and that feel for Bryce Young. Because in years past, Amari Cooper had that feel, had that flow with Blake Sims. With Calvin Ridley had that feel and flow with Jalen Hurts. Now, Tua Tagovailoa, Henry Ruggs had a flow with him. Jerry Jeudy had a flow with him. When it came to big moments, Devontae Smith had a flow with him. Even Jalen Waddle had a flow with him. Where Mac Jones was concerned, it was Devontae Smith that had that flow, that rhythm there with Mac Jones. So who has this rhythm with Bryce Young? That'd be the biggest thing in the wide receiver room. As we go now over to the defensive side of the ball, here's where we pick up the Alabama secondary. And who becomes the best 5 to 6 DBs on the field? That's the question, because Eli Rickson here, transfer from LSU, whether he plays left corner, whether he plays right corner, he's going to start at corner. And U.S. fans want to see, is he that good? Is he locked down? Is he shut down? Is he legit? People been talking about this Eli Ricks kid coming over from LSU for quite some time now. Is he really that good as the page clippings claim that he is? So you guys are having your eyes on that. The other corner, whether it's Kool-Aid McKinstry, whether it's Kyrie Jackson, whether it's Terrion Arnold. Who could be that other corner? Who could break out and be that type of playmaker there opposite Eli Ricks? Your eyes will be on that. You guys will have your eyes on Malachi Moore. Where is he in all of this? Is he at safety? Is he at star? Is he at dime? No, where is Malachi Moore? You guys asked that question a lot last season. Where is Malachi Moore? Don't really see him in the secondary. Where has he been at? He played the whole season last year, but it was primarily on special teams due to the dominance that was Brian Branch at that star position. So that's going to be fun to watch right there. And then with the return of of DeMarco Hellams and Jordan Battle at both safety positions, it's just a deep secondary. But who becomes the best 5 to 6 guys on the field? That's something that U.S. fans will have your eyes on. Another thing here, we go to the defensive line. And the big question for the big men up front is, where will the interior pass rush come from? Who's that dog on the interior that can get after the quarterback, that can consistently stop the run, that can create that type of pressure? That's the question coming from U.S. fans, because you saw this with Marcel Darius, you saw this with Jesse Williams, you saw this with Deron Payne, you saw this with Quentin Williams, you saw this with Christian Barmore, names like that. But who's the next guy from the interior of the defensive line that can create that pass rush right up the middle between the center and the guard and get to the particular quarterback? Alabama brings back a DJ Dale. It's got a T.M. Smith. It's got a Byron Young. It's got a Justin Aboigbe. It's got a Jamil Burrows, a Jamarian Latham. It's signed a lot of guys in the 2021 class, including one Damon Payne. It's got some guys in this 2022 class, including Isaiah Hastings, Jaheim Otis, who's an early enrollee, and also Curtis Perry, who's an early enrollee. But that interior pressure from the middle of that defensive line, where will that pressure come from? That's a thought there from the defensive line. Want to see Coach Freddie Roach groom that starting this spring in the A-Day game. And then, last but not least here, the backup quarterback job is one that intrigues a lot of people, including myself. We know what Bryce Young is. We know what Bryce Young is. We are excited to see what he does as a second-year starter, as a third-year player for the Crimson Tide, and trying to lead this group back to the national championship stage and win it. But who takes the primary backup spot behind him? Does Jalen Milroe rise to the occasion and show why he was such a marquee 4-star in the 2021 class from Texas? Or does Ty Simpson take the crowd? Because when there's a freshman out there that's doing his thing, he takes the crowd. And when you leave the stadium and you go home, it's, did you see the freshman? Whoa, did you see that kid? Man, he needs to be the starter. But suit him up, put him on the field. He needs to be out there. Case in point, I go back to the 2016 A-Day game where it was Blake Barnett and Cooper Bateman and David Cornwell and Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts put on the show. As a freshman, was the only guy to throw a touchdown pass in the game. And we're leaving the stadium, and I'm talking with my photographer, and he goes, that Hurts, that Jalen, that number 2 Hurts, that's the quarterback. That's the guy right there as a freshman. And that was at a time where Nick Saban had never started a true freshman at the position before. But between Milroe and Ty Simpson, who takes the moment? Who grabs the crowd? Who relishes the opportunity? Who performs the best in that backup quarterback role? Because as much as we appreciate the starter and we love the starter and we value the starter, and Bryce Young has done an unbelievable job and continues to do so, our minds somehow always gravitate to, who's the backup, right? Who's number 2? Like, who can come in here and can, really continue this offense and continue the flow and the sets and the formation and the style of excellent play on the field? Who can do that behind Bryce? So that backup quarterback position between Milroe and Simpson, definitely one to keep your eyes on there. But those are just some things, some positional groups, and some players that U.S. fans for the A-Day game coming up here in Saturday, April the 16th, you guys are excited to get your eyes on, to see, to watch, to circle, to highlight, put a star by these names and these positional units here. But we're going to go to a break here, folks. We'll touch that down. When we get back, we get to your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your conversations. I mean, which positional units, which players are you the most hyped up to see here in this A-Day game coming up? We get back to you after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your 4-finger bling necklace.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Marvin Constant, All-SEC linebacker and 1999 SEC champion. You are listening to In My Own Words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwill Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwillsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back in here from the break to the action, folks, in the number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday Super Bowl weekend. Happy to have you guys in here. And before we go to the phone lines to take your calls, got a thought here from the chat line. We got a question here that talked about, who do I think will be a freshman or a group of freshmen that could crack the starting rotation on defense? And that's an interesting question because to me, defensively, I see three guys that could do it. It could be difficult, but I see three guys that could do it. So, number one on the defensive line, Curtis Perry could do it. Curtis Perry is a violent, mean, nasty edge rusher there on that interior defensive line. Curtis Perry could do it. Now, I know the D line is going to be full of veteran guys, so it's going to be kind of a tough push for him. But if he can get out here in the spring, especially on A-Day, and wow the crowd, take the crowd, and then build from it from there, Curtis Perry could be one of those guys that could infiltrate in there, get a starting spot on that defensive line there. In terms of linebackers, I would look at Sean Murphy at that weak side linebacker position because could he beat out a Jalen Moody, a Deontay Lawson, and a Kendrick Blackshaw? That's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough to beat out those three guys. But if it's possible, I know Dick Butkus came out with glowing praise about Sean Murphy, comparing him to Nakobe Dean, played at Georgia, who's now pursuing the NFL draft. That's big praise coming from the legend Dick Butkus right there. If Murphy fulfills that statement, that comparison, then we could see Sean Murphy possibly snatch a starting spot here as a freshman. And then the secondary, I look at Earl Little Jr. The more I watch his tape, I know he's at an early enrollee. He's going to come in the summer. But if Earl Little can really get in here and really, move up the ranks there, that could be interesting as well. But those would be my three guys. Curtis Perry, Sean Murphy, and Earl Little Jr. potentially could start or get some massive playing time as freshmen on defense. We grab this call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How are you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Roll Tide from cold Denison, Iowa up here.
William, what's going on, man?
I'm just enjoying listening to these show there, man. I'm anxious to watch the A-Day game. Going to ask you about who do you think are going to start as the quarterbacks on the A-Day game?
Well, okay, they like to split the quarterbacks up, so I could see. Okay, so Team Crimson could be Bryce and Milrow. Team White could be Simpson and a couple of walk-on guys. I could see that.
Okay. I guess Paul went into the transfer portal. Do you know exactly where he went to?
Paul Tyson went to Arizona. Paul went to Arizona State, man. He's in the Pac-12, Arizona State.
I think they got a good one there. So, but I hate to see them leave anyway. But anyway, I'm just going to continue listening and roll tide forever. Thanks.
Appreciate William from Iowa there for that call. 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. But the conversation has been about, Brian Harsin down there at Auburn, and there's so much dysfunction going on. There's so much chaos going on. Now, of course, the SEC front office had the coaches meeting here in Birmingham. So, all the coaches were there, and of course, there were a number of prominent reporters, ESPN's Chris Lowe and Pete Thamel and Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports, among others, had mentioned that Auburn is expected to keep Harsin as its head coach. Of course, it couldn't really afford to let him go, because if you fire him, you're paying him $18.9 million. I mean, Auburn just recently got overpaying Gene Chizik and Gus Malzahn, so not too much money to be given out here to head coaches, but a lot of chaos in the Plains. A lot of chaos when you got players saying that we're being treated like dogs down here, and you got coaches being run off from Auburn. It's going to be just a whole crazy ordeal. How will the Tigers look in terms of the upcoming season in the fall, especially when you talk about that trip to Tuscaloosa next season and how that's going to look and how that's going to be? I just continue to reiterate that. Be grateful for the stability that Coach Saban has provided at Alabama, where Auburn has changed coaches every 2 to 3 years. You've had Nick Saban for going on 16 years now, 15, 16 years now. So the stability that man has provided in Tuscaloosa, just be ever so thankful of that, because you never know what's going to happen on the Plains at Auburn at Jordan-Hare. Every day is something new. Every day is something different. So it's crazy, the story that continues to develop and go down there at Auburn. But we're going to go to a quick topic here, and this one is on Tua Tagovailoa. Mike McDaniel, the new head coach for the Dolphins, continues just to put pieces in place to ensure Tua is going to become a star in this league. The Dolphins have now hired Wes Welker, one of the best slot receivers to ever play in the NFL. They brought Wes Welker in here, the originator of the option route. So Welker's going to have those receivers right, those receivers crisp, those wideouts working back to Tua, and that's going to even more infuse the confidence in Tua to know that I'm going to have guys catching the football, I'm going to have guys working back the football, I'm going to have guys making plays, which is going to even help me become on the ascend, on the rise from a quarterback standpoint. Because this past season, even the moments where Tua was throwing dimes out there, receivers were dropping passes. Aside from Jalen Waddle and tight end Mike Gesicki, who really did Tua have? I mean, he really didn't have all that much. So you draft some guys in this upcoming venue. You bring over a Wes Welker to coach these guys up, a pro, former NFL great, Super Bowl champion, a guy that knows how to play that position at the highest level. So Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins, all invested on Tua, and showing him that they're invested in him by bringing in a wide receivers coach of the caliber of Wes Welker to help this group be able to work with Tua, catch the football, make plays on the outside, and make this kind of an interesting AFC East division for years to come here, especially if McDaniel and Tua hit this thing off well, like so many people would like for it to be. But we take our final break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, ladies and gentlemen, because when we get back, we get into Will Anderson has dropped the hype video. And after seeing what he did as a freshman and sophomore, what possible way could Anderson be even better as a rising junior? We'll talk about the Terminator and what he expects to do next season after this.
If If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people, we're back in the action from the break. Number one ticket here for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith. Touchdown Alabama Magazine, Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Happy to have all of you checking us out on the day, writing in, texting in, donating in, making this your network, your platform, your channel to talk Bama football. Before we get into final topic of the conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So, for you as fans, you're rocking your favorite program. You're rocking the Crimson and White. You're rocking the Bama. But you're also rocking your favorite brand, giving you the Alabama football news. That being us here at TDA. Check out TDAwear.com. We got you, your style, your clothing, your fashion, do it all for the culture, whether it's shirts, pants, leggings, hats, jewelry. I mean, we got you right here. TDAwear.com, supporting your Crimson Tide, but also your brand of comfortable clothing culture needs. Touchdown Alabama Magazine. You check out TDAwear.com, link in the description. Get you that gear today, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at TDA. But, people, a lot of players have been dropping highlight tapes or hype videos going into the spring and the 2022 season in the fall. But the biggest one has been released, and that's on Will Anderson, the dominant edge rushing linebacker entering his junior year, native Georgian, for the Crimson Tide. And I'm just going to say this. What possible way can Will Anderson be even better? I mean, he exploded as a freshman. 7 sacks. Vashawn Alexander, Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year from the Football Writers Association of America. Made the all-freshman team, made the freshman All-America team. But as a sophomore last year, I mean, he just took over college football. I mean, over 100 tackles from the jack linebacker position, the first rush linebacker of the Saban era, the total 100-plus tackles. He had 34.5 tackles for loss. That led the nation. 17.5 sacks. That led the nation. 9 quarterback hurries. That led the team. A permanent team captain, the Bronco Nagurski award winner, should have won the Butkus Award. Did not get that. Should have been nominated, should have been a finalist for the Heisman Trophy in New York. Didn't get a chance to go to New York, but what possible way can Will Anderson get better? I mean, I know this for a fact. After not winning the national championship, his hair is going to be on fire from spring football to summer workouts to fall camp to the regular season, because he's coming out for the natty. He talked about all last season. I just want the natty. I'm in this for the natty. Just get me the natty. I just want a natty. Every other word that came out of Anderson's mouth was natty. I'm after this national championship. The man wants that national championship. And although Coach Saban did the right thing in paying homage to both he and Bryce Young despite the loss to Georgia, Will is like, I'm coming after this national championship, especially with all the incredible moments he had as a sophomore in 2021. But what's going to be fantastic is Will is going to have Dallas Turner with him. That's going to scare the entire college football landscape. You got 31 coming at you from one end, and 15 coming at you from the other. It's just like 92, John Copeland and Eric Curry, where it was Copeland off one end, Curry off the other, and it was, hey, bro, meet you at the quarterback. Good luck. Let's see who gets there first. But they're still taking the quarterback's head completely off his body. It's going to be just like that with Anderson and Turner. Anderson one end, Turner the other. I see you, bro. Good luck to you. Let's meet at the quarterback. We'll see who gets there first. And the quarterback is on the ground going, help, help. Quarterback is being decapitated on the ground. So, going to be a very good spring to watch Will Anderson. You know, what new moves has he learned? What new techniques has he learned? Has he built up even more strength? Has he built up even more endurance? Like, what has he done in the offseason, in the workout program now to prepare himself to not only go off in the spring, which is going to be fun to watch him do that, but go off in fall camp and then tee off on quarterbacks in the 2022 season. And could this be a situation where he wins all of the awards after being robbed from some last year? Could this set him up to win everything he was snubbed from? Could be. I mean, this could set him up to win the Butkus, win the Bronco Nagurski again, win the Rotary Lombardi, win the Ted Hendricks Award, win the be in New York for the Heisman Trophy as a finalist. I mean, this could set him up after being snubbed, being robbed, not even being looked at for these types of honors a season ago. This sets him up to get all of those honors as a junior, as he's looking dead in the face of potentially being either the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft or the number 2 pick in the draft. But it's going to be nice seeing Anderson out there on the field and just looking at this hype video here on screen. Golly, just destroyed signal callers, stuffing running backs in the backfield for loss, made so many huge, massive plays as a sophomore. So his junior year, people look out. Teams look out. I feel for offensive coordinators. I feel for offensive line coaches. I feel for offensive lines. I feel for quarterbacks. I feel for running backs. I feel for the opposition going up against a man in Will Anderson who, came up. The team came short of a national championship, and he was snubbed from quite a few awards a season ago, so he's coming after everything in a vengeful mindset. So that's going to be awesome right there. But as always, Tide Nation, you want the best in news, notes, material coverage on your favorite program, that being Bama football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, we got you right here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. Folks, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. Also, you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link in the description too. If you're trying to get your hands on the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at We Own the Fourth Quarter. That's weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. Appreciate all of you guys checking out the show on tonight. For my man John Ivory in the production studio and the entire TDA family. People, as always, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue as we're in the weekend, but continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. Be sure to grab you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday, whether you're going Rams or you're going Bengals. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.